Okay, just gonna let a few more people join and then we'll get started in 1 minute. Okay. I'm gonna get started. All right, thank you everyone for joining tonight. We're gonna go over some of the information for the Fire Dispatcher 1 recruitment. It is still open if you haven't applied yet. So please apply if you have not. If you just saw this on social media and you were interested, we're happy to have you. Feel free to ask questions at the end. We're gonna have a Q&A. So I am going to share my screen in 1 moment. Once I figure out how to do it. Okay. Share screen. All right, can you see it?
Go.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yep.
All righty. Well, thank you guys for joining us today. We're going to talk a little bit about Fire Dispatcher 1. I'm Tanya Wilson. I'm the HR analyst with the recruitment. So if you have any questions, I'm here to help. So the agenda is going to be that we're going to do an introduction of the fire department staff that have joined us today. We'll review the job bulletin, we'll go over the position details, and then we also have our captains here to talk about the background, and then we'll do a Q&A at the end. So it should be a relatively quick agenda tonight. We should get through it pretty quickly. Alrighty, so first we'll do introductions with the Bakersfield Fire Department staff, starting with Jimmy Cherry.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jimmy Cherry. I'm the Deputy Chief in charge of our Communications Division of the city. I'd like to welcome everybody that joined. I will never ever say, because Tom just told me not to say that it's a job I couldn't do, but it is a hard job. I want to let you guys know that right up front, but it's a very rewarding job. It's hard because you work nights, weekends, holidays, and you might be the very first person that someone talks to on what could be one of the worst events that's happening, because you're calling 911 because it's an emergency. So thank you for taking the time to join this meeting. Thank you for your interest in being a dispatcher. And with that, back to Tony.
All right, hi guys. My name is John Wigas. I'm a captain with the Bakersfield Fire Department, and I will be doing your guys' backgrounds. Myself and Captain Pitts and Captain Mullen, who is not here today, but we will be doing your background investigations, and I look forward to meeting you guys in person.
Great. Captain Andrew.
John said, I'm Andrew Pitts, captain with Arson. I'm in fire investigations. I'll be doing your guys' backgrounds, and I look forward to meeting you.
Hillary.
Hi, I'm Hillary Luff. I am a dispatch supervisor at the comm center. I've been there a little over 24 years, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have at the end.
All righty, let's get started. So this is going to be essentially the important parts of the bulletin. The minimum qualifications: you do have to have a high school diploma. You have to be 18 years of age. You need a typing certificate, which is going to be 35 net words per minute. If you don't have a typing certificate, or you have already applied and you didn't attach it, we do need that to pass you through to the next step. So if you want to take it online, there are tons of places online that you can take it for free. It takes like 1 or 2 minutes, and then it should let you download it at the end. It just needs to say your name, and then you have to pass the 35 net words per minute. So we do accept online typing certificates. I sent a reminder to everybody that applied. If you didn't submit it, I sent a reminder. So it should have an attachment that shows the locations and the online websites that we do accept. So please remember to submit that. It is a requirement. And you do have to be able to work shift work. So that includes the night shift, weekends, holidays. There's mandatory overtime. Sometimes there's a shift differential paid to employees if you work the night shift. I believe it's 90 cents to $1.25 unless that's changed. The pay did go up recently, and it will go up another 5% next July. So keep that in mind. Starts at step 1, which is 2078, and then it goes up every year that you're employed. If you start at step 1, after 6 months, you will go to step 2, and then a year after that, you'll start going up $1 every year for 5 years. So you'll go to step 5. This is the monthly pay. These are the work schedules. I will let Hillary go a little more into that in the next slide, but it's rotating shifts every 12 hours. And then these are the 2 schedules that you may be assigned to work. There's usually a lot of questions on that, so we'll wait on that. And here are the important dates. So these are tentative in case of anything happens, if I'm out sick or if something happens and we can't use the conference room. It's rare, but it happens. So these are our tentative dates. The written exam will be September 6th. I'll send the exam in the morning. If you pass, if you submit the qualifications and you submitted your typing cert, I'm going to send you the link. It is an online exam, so you can take it from home, but we highly, highly recommend that you do it with no distractions. So make sure that you have peace and quiet for a few hours at least, and that, you know, your computer has audio so that you can hear, because there is a hearing part of the test. Sorry. So you're going to need to be able to hear, you're going to need to have peace and quiet for 2 to 3 hours, because it is kind of a long test and it is very detailed. So we'll also talk shortly about that. Our oral exam. So if you pass the test with, I want to say it's a 70 or higher, then you are going to be invited to take the oral examination. That's going to be an interview that is scored. So there's going to be 3 raters. They're going to ask you probably 7 or 8 interview questions. You'll have 20 minutes to answer. And then from there, they're going to score you. And then there will be an average of the scores, and you'll be moved to an eligible list, which I want to say is good for 1 year with fire. So you'll be on that list for 1 year. The top 3 names, the top 3 scores will get referred for each vacancy. I want to say right now we have 1 vacancy. So the top 3 names, if there's another vacancy, then it'll be 4 names. So you'll be on that list for a year as vacancies become available. So if you don't make the top of the list right at first, that's okay. People fall off, so don't be discouraged. So now we're going to move to the personal history statement. If Captain Wegas and Pitts can go over that.
Yeah, so, okay, guys, after you get the conditional job offer, we're going to send you a personal history statement and a list of documents that are required. Just bring, for those, not everything's going to be pertinent to you guys, so just bring what applies to you guys specifically. As far as the personal history statement goes, it's all self-explanatory. Go through it, fill everything out completely. If you have questions, just fill out what you can, or fill everything out, and then you'll have your opportunity to sit down with us and explain your answers. It should take about an hour. We give you 2 weeks to fill out the PHS and meet us for an interview after that. So, Captain Pitts, do you have anything to add on?
No, just make sure that your personal history statements are complete. Don't omit anything, and be as accurate as possible.
So right here, the list that's on the screen right now, this is the list that we will send you. So not everything will apply to everybody. So like example, military discharge documents, you might not have been in the military, firefighter 1 paperwork. So just go through this and bring what you can. And yeah, we're pretty flexible. So bring everything that pertains to you.
Yeah, and you also will be getting a live scan as well.
All right. Okay, so we're gonna go on to the Q&A. Oh, there's a question in the chat. Yes, it's still open to apply. I believe it closes, I'll have to check and see when it closes, but it is still open. So try to apply this weekend if you can. The recruitment is still open. If you look on bakersfieldcity.us, you can go look at the bulletin, the pay, all the information, the dates are on there, and it'll tell you when it closes. I don't have it right in front of me right now, but I believe it closes on the 30th. So we do have a lot of applications already, so get your application in. You will hear back no matter what. but there's still some people joining the waiting room right now. So one moment. But it is still open. I just like to do the Zoom right in the middle of the recruitment so that you guys have time. If you haven't got your typing cert, please get that, and you can send it to admhrs@bakersfieldcity.us. If I've applied back in March, already took both tests and had the interview with the chief, do I still have to redo the process? Yes. So if you were part of the last recruitment and that one has closed, then you would still have to retake the test and do the oral exam again. The live scan, someone's asking, what is the live scan? Can you guys go over briefly?
Yeah, so live scan is it's basically fingerprints that we run through the system to check for, like, it's an FBI, we run through the FBI database. So that after we meet for our background investigation, then we will go and take fingerprints. It only takes a couple minutes.
Live scan still $35?
No, so we cover the cost of the live scan. You guys, so when you meet with us, I will do your fingerprints. That's, if you're talking about a private live scan, that's something different. We cover the cost of the live scan.
Yeah, you do not have to pay for the live scan. So, okay, so what Micah asked, what does the training process look like? I don't know, Hillary or Jimmy, if possible, yes.
Okay, so you'll start off in an academy, like a classroom setting. And then after the academy, sometimes there are 6 weeks, sometimes there are 8 weeks, depending on how many people we have in it. And throughout the academy, in different afternoons, they'll set you out with a dispatcher on the floor to observe. And then after the academy, you'll be with a trainer who will train you for the rest of your time. You will switch between trainers, so you'll switch between days and nights, so you can get the opportunity to see all the different types that we have.
And Kelsey asked if you have a set schedule.
Yes, you'll either work 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. or 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. When we drop below staffing levels, or what we call emergency staffing, then we also do a swing shift, which is 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And we do have that in effect right now.
Okay. You mentioned being on the list for up to a year. Can you explain that? Hi, Asia. So usually the list is good for a year. So you'll get scored from your oral exam. You'll get ranked from, 1 to however many people were scored. And that list is good for a year. If there are 2 names or less on that list, then the department can choose to move on and open a new recruitment. So it either has to expire or there has to be 2 names or less on that list for us to move on to the next list. So we opened a new recruitment because there were 2 names or less, and not because it expired, because we did open a few lists recently, but your name can be up there on up to a year. And then how long will it take back to hear? How long will it take to hear back after the oral appraisal? So after your oral exam, we do have to get the list certified through civil service, which is usually, I want to say, the 2nd Tuesday of the month or the 3rd Tuesday of the month. So once you take that oral exam, they score it, and then it'll be the next month. So usually 2-3 weeks at the most is what it'll take. I'll have to look at the closing date. If anyone wants to email me your questions, I can look more into detail at the bulletin. Does EMS still require you to get a separate live scan, or are they accepting the BCFD?
You will get a live scan with us. So I'm not sure. I know other places do live scans, but when you come through our process, we do a separate live scan.
Yeah, and EMS has their own live scan, but we're going to do our own.
Yes.
I do believe once you get through the EMD training, which is the emergency medical training, you have to be certified through EMS, and that's something that we do. But I do believe EMS will require a live scan also.
What online typing websites do you take? We'll take pretty much any website. There is a list that I have that I can email you if you want to email the ADM. I put the email for HR in the chat, so it'll be admhrs@bakersfieldcity.us. You can email us with any questions. Just let us know what recruitment you're talking about, and they will forward it to me. But we'll take pretty much any online typing certificate.
Hey, Tanya, going back to that question previously about the live scan. So we do the fire live scan, and my understanding is once they pass probation, then we do a second live scan for EMS.
Oh, okay.
How many days a week?
So we work a 42-hour work week. So the first week you're going to work 5 days a week, and then the second week you're only going to work 2 days a week. And it kind of rotates, it flip-flops back and forth. So the first week you work Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The next week you work Wednesday, Thursday. And then it just flip-flops like that every other week.
Is the academy in town? Yes.
Yes, it's at our center, at our dispatch center.
Regarding your set work, okay. Can we submit our typing certificate where we submitted our resume? If not, could you please send the email again? Yeah, the email is in the chat. It's admhrs@bakersfieldcity.us. You can submit your typing certificate there, and we will upload it to your application. I believe you can also log into government jobs where you submitted the application, and you should be able to update it, but you can just email it to us if that's easier for you. Just let us know what recruitment that you're applying for, because there are a few recruitments that require the typing certificate. I'll put the email in the chat again. Okay, so could you please repeat what the next steps are? So the next steps, just make sure your application's up to date, your typing certificate is attached to your application. Once the recruitment closes, then I'm going to send an email letting you know whether or not you're going to pass or fail. Depending on how many vacancies we have, and then depending on how many people apply, we may only accept a certain amount of applications depending on experience, but I'm going to try and accept as many as we can. Once you have been accepted, you're going to get in your email, I want to say on September 6th, we're going to do the written exam. So you'll get a notice letting you know that you're going to take a written exam. You can do that at home. You do have to pass that in order to go to the oral exam. So the written exam is going to be 2 to 3 hours long. It is kind of a timed exam, so they're timing you each set of questions. You have to make sure that you have peace and quiet. It is kind of a stressful test. It's going to mimic a little bit what your job is going to be. So you're going to want to have peace and quiet, no distractions, and you need your audio on your computer to work. So make sure that the volume on your computer is working, because there's going to be parts of the test where you have to listen to what they're saying and then type what they said. So make sure all of that's working. Once you pass the test, the written exam, if you pass that, then you're going to get an email to go to the oral examination, where you're going to take, it's considered an exam, but really it's an interview. We're going to ask you 8 questions, 7 or 8 questions, and then you're going to get scored on your answers. And once that happens, we'll create the list, and then you'll go to chief's interviews if your name is at the top of the list. Okay. Where can one find the application? So on our website, bakersfieldcity.us, under human resources, you'll find the application under regular job listings. So go to the departments, go to human resources, go to regular job listings, and you'll see fire dispatcher. I believe you do have another week before it closes, so get your application in. And please be as detailed as you can in your application regarding your work experience. It really helps us when we're going through 150 plus applications for you to be as clear as possible. Jane said, does PHS only involve our personal information or also information of those in our life?
Yeah, it'll ask for references. It'll ask for your former employers, your current employers, list a history of where you've lived. So it dives pretty deep into your personal and work life.
Okay. Asia said, I did a walkthrough with Hall Ambulance a few years ago. When they call ECC, are we the ones they'll be communicating with?
So I read that. Are you asking if So ECC is where you're applying to work right now with the city. Are you asking if ECC only communicates with Hall Ambulance? If so, no. We have 8 different law enforcement agencies in Kern County that we dispatch or that we communicate with. We dispatch for all of Kern County, whether you're employed with the City of Bakersfield or the Kern County Fire. We're all one big giant center and we do all of it. So you will be cross-trained on how to dispatch for everything. I hope that answers your question.
I'm gonna keep going in the chat, but Asia, if you
Okay.
want clarification, we can come back to it. Unless you want to turn your microphone on, just let us know. Jane,
Yeah,
go ahead. Go ahead,
no,
Asia.
I'm sorry. Yes, when I did do the walkthrough with Hall Ambulance, I did notice that they communicated with ECC a lot. So that's basically just what I was wondering. Like when they did call ECC, I did figure we would be communicating with other agencies, but I just wanted to know because I saw they called ECC a lot, and I just wanted to know when they
Yes.
called, were we the ones they were
Yeah,
going to be talking to?
we communicate with Hall all day long. We work side by side with them. Not in the same building, but we communicate and work with them all day long.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You, is it, sorry, we still have people joining. Is it ever 12 hours at a time for a work shift?
It's straight 12 hours. Your shift is always 12-hour shift, if that's what you're asking. Sometimes we'll work less than that if we have to just cover a few hours or a 6-hour shift, but your regular shift is always 12 hours.
Okay, I'll take my typing certificate online if able to, but could you please let me know what else I need to get done? I heard about live scan. So Melissa, you don't need to get the live scan done unless you're offered the job, and that's kind of like far down the line. So all you need right now is to submit your application and then also attach your typing certificate to it. It's free and it only takes 1 minute. So just Google typing certificate or typing test, and there should be like a typingtest.com, and it should let you take it in 1 or 2 minutes and attach it to your application. But we do have to have that typing certificate in order for you to take the written exam. Okay, let's see. I don't see the email. Let me put it again. I know there's a lot of chats going on. Also, the email is going to be on the bulletin and the application when you apply. It should tell you that anything you need to attach, you can send. So if you miss it, oh, thank you, Takara. Okay, so I'm trying to find the next question. So you guys will send us an email with the next steps. Yes, so you should be getting emails. If you're not, check your spam. If you've applied, you should be getting emails from us. I sent out an email with the Zoom link. I sent out an email with a reminder for the typing certificate. If you're not getting emails, go ahead and call HR or check your spam in your email. But each step, I'm going to send you emails. I'm going to send you reminders. So you're going to get an email on whether you passed or failed regardless. You should get that 48 hours after the recruitment closes. Even sooner if possible. And then you're going to get an email with the information on how to take the exam. And then you will get another email with the actual exam. So make sure on the date of the exam, which is going to be September 6th, I'm going to send it in the morning, first thing in the morning, probably 8:05 a.m. Check for that test. And if you don't get it, you have to call me so I can figure out how to get it to you, because we do have to have you take it that day. So if anyone has an issue with receiving the test, as long as you passed and it says, hey, you've passed, you're going to take the written exam. If you don't get it the day that the email says you're supposed to get it, please email HR or call me so that I can make sure to get it to you. You'll have 24 hours to take it. Well, not 24 hours, but you'll have from 8 a.m. until midnight to take that test. It doesn't matter when you start it, as long as it's in between those hours, just make sure to take it that day. There isn't a practice exam that I know of. The test is going to be through Critical. So I don't know if there's not a practice exam that I'm aware of, but it is going to kind of mimic the position. So it's going to mimic kind of the job that you're going to be doing. Make sure your volume on your computer works and make sure that it's quiet wherever you are, because it is very stressful to take it if you're not paying attention. I don't know if there are any resources. You can always Google it. I don't want to put my name on it because I don't know if they're going to be accurate, but the resources are Go
I
ahead.
think you can go online and type practice critical test. I've heard that. Don't quote me on it or
Yeah, don't
put
quote
my
me.
name on it, but I think if you just type that in, you can actually find practice tests.
Okay. Should one apply even if they do not have any work experience but want to pursue this career? Yes, I encourage you to apply. It doesn't say that you have to have any experience, but you do have to pass that test. So if you don't have any work experience and this is what you want to do with your life, we're happy to have you apply. Just make sure you have your typing certificate and you do have to pass the written exam. So we don't
We
want to
will
just
do, right, we will do all your training in-house, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But really, really look up and study what this job is. Google it a lot, watch YouTube videos, and really look into it to make sure this is what you really want to do.
Deasia asked, will training be 12-hour shifts and will those days of training be a part of the rotating shift?
So when you're first in the academy, I believe we switch it around a little bit. It's always daytime. I believe it starts off the first few weeks as just a Monday through Friday. When you get with your trainer and you go onto the floor, then you will be 12-hour shifts with that person. Now, we only rotate shifts. We shift bid every 6 months. You will be with your trainer for a little while. You will or may have to switch to a different trainer because it's really different between nights and days. And so you have to have experience on both sets. But we'll give you plenty of time notice before we switch your shifts and let you get used to it.
Okay, Ashley asked if there are overtime opportunities.
Absolutely. After training, you can have a lot of overtime.
Okay. Is there a high turnover rate for fire dispatch? How often are jobs available since there's only one position available right now?
There's a very high turnover rate, but not just for fire dispatch, it's emergency dispatch. We work very long shifts. We work a very, very stressful job. I don't want that to scare any of you, but you also need to be prepared that in our job, we are taking 911 calls for all fire and medical related calls. And you have a lot of medical calls and they are not always easy. You deal with a lot of death, a lot of trauma. Nobody's calling you because they're having a good day. But there's a lot of resources and a lot of help out there to help you get through that. So if you really think that this is something you want to do and you've really, really studied into it, then go for it.
Okay. So yes, if there's a high turnover rate and there's only one position available right now, your name could eventually be referred if you make it on that list. If somebody can't handle it or if they quit, we don't want that, but don't be discouraged if you make it onto the eligible list and then you're not in the top 5 or 6. You never know. Could you give more details on what tasks are required during the 12-hour shift? Will it be completely intake of calls, breaks, lunch? So just today, what is that?
Well, no, it's not just taking calls, but a lot of it is. A lot of it's taking calls. Once you learn how to dispatch, you'll actually be on the radio dispatching calls. We do have breaks. However, keep in mind that if something large incident happens, earthquakes or whatever, there is stipulations for that. But yes, you do get a break. We usually eat at our consoles. You don't have to, but there is a break room and places to have your lunch and all of that. But you, on your 12-hour shifts, you're doing all kinds of stuff.
Tyler said, how will we be receiving the PHS to fill out? Is there a time frame on when we should expect to receive it? So Tyler, you're only going to get the PHS if a job is offered. So you don't have to worry about that until you've passed the written, the oral, and then if you make it to the top of the eligible list, you'll get referred to the chief. And then if the chief offers you a job, then you would get the PHS. So don't stress too much about it until the rest of the steps are completed. I don't know what the time frame on that is once you're
So as soon as I get word that a job offer has been made, I email them that day, and everything goes to them, and they have, we say, about 2 weeks to fill that out. Sometimes depending on the academy or when they're trying to start to hire people, we'll push that through, but that'll be on a case by case. So after job offers, and you'll have it immediately.
Gray said, so if we don't need experience, what does the approval process of our application consist of? So the approval process is going to be, do you have a GED? Are you 18 years old? Did you attach your typing certificate? Does it meet the minimum net words per minute? And then if, say, we get 500 applications and we have 1 vacancy, we can't do that many interviews. So if there's 1 vacancy, you guys have to still take the written test, and there's not a super high pass rate on that. It is a stressful test. So I may say we're only going to send the test to 100 people or 150 or even just 50. So from that point, we have to select the top group. So who has dispatching experience, they're going to be first. And then next to that, maybe customer service experience. It's up to the department on what the top group looks like. But for fire dispatcher, we typically try to send the written exam to as many people as we can. Whoever applied, if you meet all the minimum qualifications, then we're going to send it to you. Since there's only 1 vacancy, we may have to put a cap on that, but we're gonna have to assess that once the recruitment is closed. So if you get a notice that says you are not being invited, it's either going to be because there were way too many applications for us to send that test to everybody, or you didn't submit your typing certificate, you don't have a high school diploma, or you're not 18. So if you get a fail notice and it says not in the top group, that means that there were just too many applications and we had to take the people with the highest qualifications. But it doesn't mean that you didn't meet them. It just means that there were so many applications. Even though the minimum requirement for the test is 70%, if we score higher, will that play a part in deciding who's most eligible, or is the ultimate deciding factor the oral? So it's kind of a pass fail for this exam. You do have to meet the 70%, but we don't assess that. We just say, okay, you passed, here's the oral exam. So once you pass, it doesn't have any deciding factor on how well you do. That's all going to be based off the oral exam. So it's going to be how you communicate. Can you answer the questions? Do you know what the job is? Have you prepared? So really prepare for that oral exam if you pass that test. Passing the test just shows us that you're capable of doing the job essentially. And then the oral exam is going to be just another step to determine if you're capable to do the job. But the test, it doesn't matter what score you get as long as you passed. Once I get the typing certificate, which email do I have to send it to? It's going to be admhrs@bakersfieldcity.us. It should be in the chat. I'll put it in there again if I need to. But it's also attached to the application when you apply. But make sure that you applied. We can't take your typing certificate unless you've submitted an application online. So make sure you have applied. And if you haven't applied yet, you need to apply and attach your typing certificate. Don't email it if you haven't applied yet. Just attach it to your application, because that's just going to guarantee you an immediate pass. I don't want anybody to apply and then email it separately and then it falls through the cracks. We try to upload all of them, and as long as you send it, we'll upload it, but it's just so much easier if you attach it to your application. I believe on YouTube there's a channel called the Raspy Dispatcher, and she has a lot of dispatcher-like content. I believe there's also test-like resources if that helps anyone. Thank you, Alexandria. Is there only 1 position? As of right now, there is only 1 position. That could change. There could be positions added. There could be somebody that puts in their 2 weeks. There could be someone that doesn't pass a background check. So make sure you're applying. Don't let it discourage you that there's one position. Please apply no matter what. If one wants to pursue this, what can they do while they wait to be hired for the academy? Hillary, is there anything that you think that they can?
I would like, previously they said that there was that YouTube channel, and that's what I would do. I
Yeah,
would go on YouTube, go online, type in 911 dispatcher and see what you can come up with. Just try to really understand what the job entails.
okay. I got the email for typing certificate and thought I needed to upload it before the Zoom call. I already sent it to the email. Yeah, if you want to send an updated typing certificate, you can. I'm sorry that I didn't want it to seem like you had to do it now. We do need it before the recruitment closes, and the sooner the better. But you didn't have to send it before the Zoom call. If you want to retake it and you want a higher percentage, you're free to do that. Just let them know when you email them, hey, I've previously submitted one, I would like to update it. But as long as it's over 35 words per minute, you're good. You don't have to take another one. It doesn't help you or it doesn't hurt you. We just want to make sure that you can at least type that fast. I've already sent in my application and a copy of my typing cert, but is there a way to check if both were received on your end? Yeah, Tyler, if you want to email the ADM at HRS and double check with them, they can check for you. If you don't get a reminder email that you haven't submitted it, then you're good to go. We only send the reminder emails to people that have not submitted it. Takara's back. Thank you. Last question. If given a job offer, are you able to let us know of any circumstances that would disqualify us during the background process?
So really, there's no automatic disqualifications that are coming to mind. So everything's case by case, even law enforcement issues, issues with drugs in your past. Like, we look at everything on a case by case basis. So just put everything down and you'll have the opportunity to discuss it. I know that's very broad answer, but no automatic disqualifications that come to mind. Chief Cherry, can you think of any that automatic disqualifications that I'm missing?
No, it's just like Captain Wiggett said, it's on a case by case basis. Now, there's going to be some, obviously, if you're a convicted felon, obviously, you need not apply. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. But other than that, it is just a case by case basis.
How much geographical knowledge should a potential hire know for this job? Like, is it mostly inner city, or do we need to know outer city limits? No.
The more you know about all of Kern County, the better. Like I said, this is a Bakersfield Fire Department job. However, we dispatch for all of Kern County. So the more you know about that, the better.
Somebody commented to schedule a sit-in. Can you talk about that a little bit, Hillary?
Yeah, we're actually, normally we would encourage you all to come and schedule what's called a sit-along. And you sit with the dispatcher for 2 hours and kind of see what it's about. However, we have 4 trainees right now and another 4 that are starting, and we just don't have the people to have that right now. So we are not able at this moment, at this time, to take a sit along right now.
Okay, so starting from right now, if we are the one person who gets the job, what is the estimate time from now it would be till we start training? So if you receive the job offer after the tests have been taken, John will do your background check. How long would you say that typically takes, Jonathan?
So we give them 2 weeks, and then after that, I would say within 2 to 3 weeks, the backgrounds will be complete.
Okay, so 2 to 3 weeks. Once that happens, then I would schedule your medical, so your physical, drug test. I would say the turnaround time on that is like 3-4 days. So I would add another week, and then you have to start at the beginning of a pay period, and then also you have to start at the beginning of an academy. So it's government, so it's going to be probably a 1 to 2 month process, and then depending on when the county has the academy available, I believe the next one is October. I'm not sure how many dispatchers they can train during that time. But that's kind of best case scenario. 2 months maybe. And then I'll be the one that you're communicating with. So if you do get the job, I'm going to call you every time there's a new step. Hey, you're going to get this email from Jonathan on your PHS. Hey, you're going to take your medical. Hey, this is going to be your start date. So I'll never leave you hanging. I'm going to make sure to keep communication with you, and you will have my direct information if you do get hired. So don't worry too much about it. But you got to get through the exams first, and that does also take time. Where would I hear back for the written exam, government jobs or this email? So you applied through government jobs, but it's going to probably come from me. Once you submit your application, you'll get an email that says, thank you for applying. And then when the recruitment closes, it's going to send you an email, you passed or failed. And then I'll send you an email, you're going to receive the written exam on this date. So, I think it comes from my direct email when we send you emails. So it'll come from twilson@bakersfieldcity.us. And if you're not getting those emails, keep an eye out. It closes on September 3rd or on August 30th. I'm sorry. So if you don't get an email 48 hours or 2 business days after August 30th, and you're expecting one, make sure to call HR or email the ADM email and ask us and check your spam. What is the medical and what does it consist of? Not exactly sure what they do. I know they do, they're probably going to ask you some questions about your physical well-being, depending on the requirements of the job. There will be a drug test and there will be an audio test just to make sure that you can hear, since you're going to be taking calls. But I don't know the specific details. If we uploaded our typing cert into the government jobs application, will I still need to send it to the email? No, you don't. As long as you uploaded it to your application, you're good. If you're not sure if you did, I'm going to be sending out more emails that say, if you didn't submit it, make sure you submit it. So if you get an email that says, please submit your typing certificate, that means it didn't work. So don't stress too much about that. I'm going to send another reminder before it closes. So you should be fine as long as you uploaded it. All righty. Are there any other questions? We're gonna take a couple more and then we're good. Thank you so much, James. You guys have a great weekend. But I think we got it all down. And then if anyone needs to email me, I recorded this Zoom. So if there's something you forgot or something you didn't ask, please email. And we will send you the recording. But I'm really excited for you guys, and I'm really appreciative that you joined the live and asked all these questions. Of course. Thank you guys, and thank you the fire department for being here and answering these questions. I really appreciate you guys too.
Anything for you, Tanya.
Thanks, guys.
I appreciate it. All right, thank you guys. You have a great weekend. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Good night. I'm gonna figure out how to stop this recording.